All right, there we go. Wow, that was the quickest drop in for us. I don't
Wow.
even think I got my usual holding frame, just
Man alive,
because
yeah.
we're just so excited to be here. We just
We're
couldn't
hell
wait.
diving in here. Oof.
It's been too long since
Drop
we've done
podding
some
in.
kill team diving. Hello and welcome, of course, if you've stumbled on in here or we've stumbled into your ears. It's the Kill Team Casuals, and I'm joined by the vivacious Russ from GFN
Yeah.
Gaming.
Thanking you. Invading your ear holes if you are just stumbling upon this podcast. Maybe you've put a podcast on about thrill beams, and then by a process of elimination, you've ended up here at Kill Team. But thank you very much, Reese from Threes to Wound, buddy. How's it going?
Oh, good. Just glad to be here. I just always hope that it's not someone's come here for like self help or to self improvement because you're in the wrong place. If that's the podcast rabbit hole you went down, can't
Yeah.
help you here. We can't help you.
Alas, no. We can't even help you with Kill Team, really, if we're honest. There's not a lot of actual help we can give. But yeah.
We'll do our darndest. G'day to
Mm.
those in the chat. Dr.
Yeah,
Zero
try.
Hour. Thomas is in there. Thank you to JS03356 for subscribing. Always love
Nice.
having the live studio audience, as we'll call them. It's a live studio audience. You can hear the applause if you listen. So good to have them here. Drones in the chat as well. Thank you so much. If you're listening on the pod too, we do record live here on Twitch and YouTube. We love having people dropping in and joining in because you can join the conversation and you get to point out the things that we say that are wrong live. You get to embarrass us live on
Yeah.
air.
It's happened a bunch, although I will maintain that I do not back down on guarding on a teleport pad. Because I feel like
Oh,
that came up, and I said, I've not got the rules in front of me. And I was like, if you're on the teleport pad and you've guarded, and then an opponent goes on to the other one and then reposition switches.
switcheroo.
Yeah, switcheroo, because Ben sided, Ben folded like a house of cards under a strong breeze. He was like, you know what, the chat said it. I agree. I think something about if you're taken off the board, you lose guard. But I
Yeah.
checked guard. I checked guard because I was interested. I was like,
Yes.
I don't remember seeing that. I checked guard. There's nothing that says being removed from the kill zone stops you being on guard. Now, there
Ooh.
might be somewhere else that says very specifically as soon as you're removed from play, you don't. But I didn't see it. I still think maybe you could be on guard on a teleport pad and throw it around. But yeah, I was
Well,
called out on that.
Leonardo Galar on YouTube is saying that it does go away, but for the chat, we're going to put you to work. We need the
Yes,
wording.
please.
Where in the book?
Why?
Tell us
Where? I
why.
get, you know what? Why do I always do this where I don't have the book and then I challenge a rule?
Because
Like
then
I'm
you can't be
challenging a
proven
rule
wrong. You can't
without.
prove
Yeah.
yourself wrong.
I think last time I just folded. I was like, yeah, okay, I guess I don't have the book. But now I've decided to no, I don't have the book, but I will live strong in my ignorance. Um, you may try,
I
but
definitely misinterpreted at the start with the teleport. I thought you could move onto it, like you say, with 3 inches, you move onto it, and then through the other side, you would still have 3 inches through the other side.
well, I didn't do quite that, but I did something similar, whereas that you could dash onto it, say, and
Yeah.
then still charge or
Yes.
reposition, and then take your movement to start from the teleport pad. Whereas apparently the entire reposition takes you to that, and you would only do a charge if if you would be able to end whilst wholly on it within
Within
like
yes, yeah.
control range. So
Do we think that's a missed opportunity? Would have I wanted that chaos of like you charge two
I do
inches
love the
from the other
chaos.
side and then
Yeah.
4 inches off the teleport. Like think about the mind bending plays you could do, and that was because that's how I kept thinking about it. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get this guy dash on. He's gonna have his full move on the other side to like completely surprise them. But it's like it does telegraph it a little bit now
Yeah.
that if
Yeah. You know
I'm
where that
set up
person's
within
going to
dash
turn up.
range or move range, and
Yeah.
so you've got a chance to get out of dodge. I still
Yeah.
think
It's an
could
interesting
could
one. I
could
do
have
think
been
it
a
would
lot
be
more fun.
fun. Yeah, it feels like a video game move, like a multiplayer video game move where you just blip up behind the enemy lines,
Right?
running and gunning. Yeah.
I've still yet to use it effectively. Now, we didn't have
Yeah.
you here last week, unfortunately, but I am still. This may surprise you. I'm still interested in what you have to say. I'd love to know
I
your
don't
thoughts.
believe you.
I'd love to know your thoughts on Dead Silence. Obviously, we didn't get to talk with you about it. What do you think?
Yeah, no, we've not chatted actually, have we, about the new teams? Well, yeah, I mean, personally, I was a big fan of the um Tau stealth
Stealth
suits
suits?
from the like, was it the start of this edition? Were they in Compendium? Was even Compendium for this edition?
No, I think it was last edition they were in the
Yeah, it
compendium.
was
You're
last
right. In
edition they
the
were in the
early
Compendium.
compendium, they were a
Yeah.
team. Yep.
And they were great because I think all they needed to be was, oh, you know what? I think they might have been in this edition as well somewhere. No, they can't have been, can they? Must have been last
No, it was
edition.
definitely
Anyway,
not this edition. Yeah.
they were great because they were like they needed to be 3 APL, but I
Mm.
kept saying if they were 3 APL, that team would be amazing because they had that rule where if they were on conceal and they were further away than although it might not have been conceal because back in the day when they didn't have it, but it was like if you're X number of inches away,
Inches
you
away.
can't be
Yeah.
shot. Yeah, I thought they were great. I always loved that team. So the fact
Well,
that they've given us
hang on quickly. We've got an update. Leonardo
an
has done
update.
the work. So
He's done
there
the
has
work.
been
Love
an
it.
errata, and he's got the sentence here. So
Oh, there's an errata.
Killzone
Okay.
Gallowdark close quarters guard action. Add the following to the first bullet point. It
Love it.
performs any action, moves, or is set up.
There
So
you go. And
that's
that's the clarification and is set out. Okay, fair dues.
there you go.
So it can't be done. Well, I think that's definitely a missed opportunity because that feels like it'd be so
Yeah.
much fun. Like you can just be like, I'm on here now. But anyway, it can't be done.
Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know. Always check the erratas, people. Always
I
check
do
the
love that
erratas.
idea though that you teleport your opponent through and they're set up on guard and they just hose all the rest of your dudes. That is like the
That
ultimate
is,
like comic
I was gonna say
comedy
that's the
moment.
film.
Yeah.
That is, isn't it? It's like, um,
So sorry, back to stealth suits.
but yeah,
I had to get through that. We needed to know. The people
we
needed
needed to
to
get
know.
there.
G'day to
We needed to know.
Andy Clem in the chat as well.
Andy Clem. It's been a while, I feel, since I've said that name, and you know you've said it because it's got a lot of name to it. Um, yeah, no, the Tau. I'm glad they've done the the Tau
Towers.
stealth suits because I think that's a team that you can run and not hate yourself as a Tau player. You know what I mean? Because they're
Yeah.
like the acceptable face of Tau. I feel like somehow stealth has always been the acceptable face of Tau.
Yeah.
And I think you know what they're going to be. Like it's going to be a shooting team. Um, I don't know what they're going to do. I'd be interested to see if they give them a little bit more of an elite shooting profile. They'll be 3 APL. They
Yeah.
really should be 3 APL because that's the main problem last edition. They weren't
Yes.
3 APL, which meant they were like, because you could only take 5 of them, which meant they were borderline useless.
And it looks
Um,
similar from the pics we're seeing of like the team assembled together. It looks like it's 5 operatives with 2 drones. That's just guesswork from
yeah,
how they're showing them
2
off.
expendable drones would be
Yeah.
very, yeah. It'd be interesting to see. I don't want there to be a sneaky trick to be like within the drone, within 9 inches of the drone, you get 3 APL. I just want them to be 3 APL.
Oh,
Um, like you know what I mean? Like I feel like it really should be 3 APL. Hitting on
yeah.
threes because at a 5 wound team, although I mean, if we're looking at all the other teams that are basically elite, they basically hit on 3s or 2s. Even the Raveners, like if a
Yeah.
Ravener can hit you on a 3, I feel a stealth drone should be able to hit you on a 3 at least as well.
Well, one
And
of
they've
the
got to be
drones is the
pantsing
marker
combat.
light drone, so it's like, yes, they can
Oh,
hit on threes if they've got a
but
marker
only,
light, or
you know what? I don't mind that, I guess. I don't
4,
mind
is it
that.
4 with ceaseless if they've been lit up or whatever or something like that. That could also
I
be an
hope they'll
option.
redo them, I think. I'm sure they'll redo them
Yes.
just to give them their own little spot. I wonder what their special thing will be, although I imagine their special thing will be what we've already seen with the Vespids, with that one
Yes.
Vespid operative who, if he's in conceal and he's outside of 6, it's not a valid target. So that would be
That's
an interesting rule if they're all like
team wide.
outside of 8. Yeah, that would be cool, team wide on conceal, because it's a cool rule that isn't oppressive. If we're talking about like a conversation I know we had before, the power creep of
Yes.
40k, do we see this in Kill Team? And I feel like introducing rules that aren't oppressive is hard.
Yeah.
Whereas I think a rule that is, it's not going to punish your opponent. It just rewards them. Like if you position well and you can get within 6 inches to shoot them, great. But it's not something like if they're within 6 inches of you, they can shoot twice and they can hit on twos and they ignore and they can damage reduction twice. Like some of the Death Watch stuff felt a bit like damage reduction twice. And you're a
Yeah.
Necron, so if you're on the network, you can be healed twice. And prior to that, you've already healed D3. And guess what? Next turn, you're going to get healed D3, 3D3 wounds from the. It feels a bit. I think that's what we talk about when we mention the creep,
Yeah.
if we look at teams that are out now and compare them to the original teams, although you are having a little bit of a play with Aquilons, aren't you, these days? And they feel like they're having a resurgence as one of the earlier
Yes.
teams.
They're in the they're in the background. Unfortunately, I've got a tournament this weekend. I wanted to bring them. They were going to be my like team that I was like, oh, you know, this
Friendly
is going to
team.
be. But I haven't. To be honest, I just haven't got them finished on the paint table, and I think I've
Yeah.
only got like maybe like one okay game in with them, and I'm like,
Yeah.
those two things. So yeah, unfortunately, instead I'm going the other way and leading into the power creep of a new team. I'm going to take the
Nice.
Death Watch again because
That's
that
what
was
needs
what
to happen.
I've got the reps with them, but and again we were talking about this in the green room. I definitely find like playing 5 models. It's a different kind of stress. I don't think I enjoy it as much as
Hmm.
having like a team, like a full
Yeah.
team. And especially the thing I found, and I think I mentioned this on a previous show, is you get the 5 models, and obviously the big power or the potential power for the Death Watch is that double counteract, being able to spend a CP to flip your order as well. So
Hmm.
dangerous in any situation. But now, when you look at the top tables and the teams, a lot of people, Raveners are in there. There's still a lot of elite things like Nemclaw and other sort of, I guess, Astartes teams. We've got the Canoptic, who are like a faux elite in a lot of ways, realistically.
Yeah. Strange
Um,
team. But
yeah,
yeah.
you've got
Oh,
like,
elite.
so a lot of those matchups, you actually don't get to take advantage of the counteract like you think you would. Like,
Yeah.
especially when that model imbalance, like against another 6 elite, a 6 model team, it's only one counteract you may get, and depending on the order, you don't get. So
Yeah.
you kind of it's been interesting playing, having to change that mindset to play that longer sort of game. Like where you're like, I'm just gonna have to try and do everything on turning point 4, whereas previously it was like turn 2's go turn. You
Yeah,
know?
turn two is. It feels is that a new thing in this edition though? Like it felt like turn two was
Mm.
always the big money turn,
Yeah,
whereas now it feels like with the new change to initiative, it almost feels like you've got you can set it up so that you have a reroll, and maybe you've got a +2 going
yeah,
into turning point 3 instead, and it feels like almost now the way the initiative works. Like you can almost play it for like turn 3 being,
yeah,
especially as crit op and tac op now it feels like if you get 4 for tac op, that's a decent result.
yeah,
um so you don't need to overextend yourself to get it. So it feels like some teams or some play is like sitting back a little bit more than you normally would, and I
yeah.
find myself
Restraint.
seeing like a turn 3 go instead of a turn 2 go now. Because some of the crits as well and some of the tac ops, it kind of rewards like a late play surge in a weird way.
Yeah,
Um,
100%. Yeah,
so yeah, it's one of those weird ones where I'm like, I do think it used to be a full on turn two used to be the slaughter turn.
yeah.
It would
Who
be
gets
like,
initiative? Who gets to do the big hit
yeah,
first? Like gets the and now like you see people give away turning point 2 and go, no, you can go
yeah,
first.
I
Like
want to take
because
the +2.
I want the +2. Yeah, and they're like,
Yeah.
which is as much as the much maligned system, I guess in some ways. That much maligned. I say personally, I'm the one that's
Are you? Yeah,
maligned.
you are maligning
I'll
it.
put my hand up. I'm still not a huge fan, but I do like seeing that the game is important the whole way through, as opposed to
Hmm.
limping into turning point 4. We've both got one model, and it's very clear what's going to happen. you now head into
Yeah.
Turning Point 4 going, geez, I hope I get initiative because there's two or three things that I want to, because we're both, things are still in play. And I think that's a big improvement for the game, I think, in a lot of
Mm.
ways.
Yeah, I do find myself with more operatives generally alive in Turning Point 4, whereas
Yeah.
I feel like there used to be a bunch of games where you, after Turning Point 2, the game was pretty much sewn up. There'd be a few games where you'd be like, okay, these things have happened, and now it's pretty clear to both of us now who's going to win this game.
Yeah.
Whereas like if it does feel a little bit more, maybe I'm just romanticizing old games. It does feel a bit more like that. Yeah, it's not quite as clear because of like point swings you can have late game. But
Mm.
yeah, it's
And,
interesting. But
and we're
power
still,
creep.
yeah.
Sorry, go for it before
I was
I
just going to say, we're
derail us
still,
by the power creep.
please do. We're still getting to grips with the tac ops too. Like obviously
Yeah.
big change up to the tac ops. We're starting to see some repeat offenders. There's some that are starting to show up significantly more than others as people are starting to work out, oh, okay, this one's, it's still harder to score
Yeah.
them across the board, which is good, which is definitely a good thing. There's no plant beacons equivalent, I don't think, yet, but there's some that are getting close.
Getting close. Oh, I'll tell you what happened, which I never thought would happen. I played flank for the first time.
Oh, and
Yeah, it's not bad, although it took me until the end of the game to realize exactly how it was scored.
yeah,
And I was the one playing it. So I kept forgetting that I don't have to outnumber them in their territory. I have to outnumber them in my territory in their territory. So I have to have more APL in their territory
their
than they have
territory.
in my territory. Yeah. So I was sort of like that every time. I was like, oh, I'm scoring it wrong. But I know it now, having played it right, but
Yes.
thought I was doing it wrong. Yeah, basically, I came to like I had an epiphany every end of turning point
Yeah,
after
yeah.
the
You're like,
second. Being like, oh
oh,
wait, no, I just have to outscore you from your models and mine, and then that same thing happened every end of every turning point because it was just like it doesn't make any sense. But it
yeah.
is, yeah, it's interesting. It's I think I was playing Vespids, and I feel like for Vespids, it's actually a pretty solid shout. Um,
Yes.
because they're quite fast, so you can kind of like go up both flanks. Turning point two, although you have to declare it as a strategic ploy, which
Yes.
kind of makes it like really telegraphed. So I don't like that. I feel like you should get a freebie because as soon as you have told them,
Yeah.
it's so hard to, you know what I
Well,
mean? Like it's
that's it. If
so
they're a
easy to
good
shut
player,
it
they'll
down.
keep it in the bank just to ruin at the end, And I'll move this last
Yeah.
guy just here to tip the scales.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, to just absolutely wreck it. So yeah, it does feel like it's open for denial, but then so many are. But they don't have access to the classic confirm kill, which is now steal intelligence, and it's now
Yes.
the domain of in infiltrate instead of recon. So they got a deal, they got a bum deal, did the Vespids, and they're making the most of what they've got.
They've just been
But yeah,
toiling away.
flank's not bad.
I think I saw the tournament I've got this weekend, KTSO up in Sydney, which I'm flying up for. I think there is 2 or 3 Vespid players, and I'm like, what do they know, or are they just Russ enthusiasts? I don't know which
You know
way to
what?
go.
I'm bringing him back. I'm bringing him
Yeah,
back there next year. I'm gonna do my best to. I was thinking of doing Battleclade, but
yeah,
I'm thinking if I can have a good strong go with Vespids and try and bring Russ Vespid back.
yeah.
Do my best. Do my best.
The old
I think I
Ruspids.
might try. They're all Vespids. But yeah, flank. It's forcing me to learn flank, basically.
Yeah, it's because
How
it's
dare.
been interesting, and a few people sort of touching on a few different things in the chat. And when we talked about it as well was the style of the boxes. Like when we look back at probably the last 3, with those teams that are coming out too, and
Mm.
we are seeing a lot more of that. Not all, but predominantly hyper elites, or even a few faux elites, i.e.,
Yeah,
canoptic
I
type
think.
teams.
Yeah, I think the last 3 teams have been. I know I'm saying 3 because Battleclade wasn't, but
Yeah,
pre-Battleclade we had Battleclade and Raveners, which is obviously elites. We had,
yeah.
uh, oh man, who came after then?
Before, oh, we had,
Raveners was it Tomb World right after
yeah,
Raveners,
then
wasn't it?
Death Watch and Ravenous. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and they're
Death Watch and
both Death
yeah,
Dodge and Tomb World
yeah,
Canoptic. They're both elite. I know we're talking about them as technically pseudo elite because they get the 3 warriors, but
No,
I think they are kind of elite for scoring. They do feel quite elite.
yes,
You know what? Yeah, it's hard to say because they end up with like 12 operatives all said and
yeah.
done,
And then we know
and
now
are
with
a
the
little bit an example of that power creep. I feel.
oh,
I
I
do
think they're the
feel. I do
perfect. I
feel
think
like
if
there's
you
a
wanted
little bit of
a
power creep.
poster boy, a poster boy,
Yeah, I think
because even then you
what you
look,
do is you put Vespids and Canoptic Circle next to each
yeah.
other, and you say, "Are these teams equally skilled?"
And that
I
was
think
someone
the answer has to
who
be
put it
no.
in the someone said before, Linford in the chat before said power creep. Who said Canoptic versus Farstalker isn't a fair match?
Yeah, yeah. It's like it feels like if the player was equally skilled, because the crazy thing is, Kroot will beat Canoptic in a few games, and it's
yeah,
because there's some absolute legend running Kroot, and they know the tricks, and they're a really
yeah,
good player. But equal skilled, there's a few team matches, and I do say that with a little bit of hesitancy because obviously Aquilons were very good at dealing with elites. But I think
yes,
when they first launched, there was quite a lot of people still running those non-elite teams because elites were having a rough time. So like
yes. That's
Aquilons
it.
were a little bit down. And then when everyone was like, you know what, elites are definitely amazing in this edition now, start running elites again. Then Aquilons got their like second coming.
Yeah,
Um, and there's a few teams like I do feel Vespids are a little bit. I do feel bad because they are quite good at, in theory, against elites because of the
they can
piercing.
put out the damage. They can genuinely,
It's
but
so in theory though. It's
you have to
so
roll
theory.
sixes.
Yeah, and the thing is, they've got a bunch of like vicious venom. They've got a bunch of stuff which they get like rerolls, but only if you're attacking, not if you're retaliating. And it's
Yeah,
like, in fairness though, when would I ever? Like, I need it in retaliation as well. Otherwise, what is the point?
yeah,
Um,
100%.
yeah, and it's stuff like that which you feel like there's other teams that just get it both ways now. So
Well,
it's interesting to see the
that's
power creep.
that's probably the one for me myself. Like, I don't know who in the design team is a Necron player, or loves said Necrons, but it is
They
very
do
interesting.
though.
Yeah, but it is very interesting because it's very interesting. It's like obviously Canoptic's big and doing well, but Hyrotech is still a very big dangerous thing as well, and it's sort of that same reason. Is it's like they don't seem to have the negatives or the pitfalls that a team's meant to have. It's like
Yeah,
terrible example, but we use it because it's probably the most obvious. Like you look at a team like Pathfinders, and you go, they are not good at close combat. So if you
yeah.
play them,
There was a yeah.
yeah, your job should be to get into close combat with them because it's probably the path of least resistance. And yeah, because it's the game is meant to still, I guess, fundamentally have a bit of a rock paper scissors thing. It's like you'll be
Yeah.
good at this and killing this, but you can still win, but you'll have a bit of a tougher time against the other one, and it's and I definitely find with the Necrons, like I watched a lot of the Squad Games stream. Well done, by the way, to the team over there at Squad Games from LVO. They streamed the 3 days. I saw a whole bunch of great matches and did a really, really good job. It was really engaging. But the thing I noticed watching it is it was just like the Necrons just don't have the weakness. It's like, you charge me, I'm going to have auto retain too. And I'm
Yeah.
still, you can't explain to me how that is either a thematic, that all of a sudden these little bugs are really good
Yeah.
at fighting in close combat, or B, a necessary, like even accurate one would be enough. Let me parry one. I've got
Hmm.
other ways to reduce damage as well. Like they already have some
Yeah, they
things to
do.
just to
They've got
scratch things.
soul drain. Yeah, just a scratch as well on the
Soul
thingy.
drain, like that's three defensive things that's helping to prop up their thing that is probably meant to be one of their weaknesses.
Yeah.
And not to mention, if you do fight the big bugs, as you touched on before, they've got multiple ways to heal them. And this is a thing that's
Yeah.
20
And
units,
it's
20,
not
20 wounds, sorry.
bad healing. 3d3 healing. And that can happen twice an activation, twice in a turn because your
Yeah.
leader can make them activate that outside activation as well. So that's
Yeah.
66 healing if you really want, which is just not 66, sorry, 63. That would be
60.
crazy.
Well,
66. Can you believe it? I'd roll all
66.
ones. But
I thought the number 66, you just get plus 66 wounds.
66 heal, just 66 plus and back to health. But yeah, but it is weird. So there's teams like that. Like I still think Hyrotech versus Canoptic would be
Yeah.
competitive. Like that would
Yes.
be a
Yeah.
competitive game still, because there's teams that are just were tooled well and have lasted. And I think that's like fair shout. Like a team like that can go against the new teams. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just, and I know what this is what the down balanced data states are like, but there's a few teams that we are seeing that have built in, as you mentioned before, have built into them, rightly so, a inherent weakness
Yeah.
that thematically is accurate. Like Tau, like there's no one saying, "Oh, but when the Raveners get to my back lines and get me in combat, all my Tau guys die." It's like, yes, they
Yeah.
should. It's like
Yeah.
that is fine. We're not going to all of a sudden make Tau amazing in combat to fill that thing. So 100% they should have matchups where you're like, this is going to be rough because you're a melee team into
Yeah.
my shooting team, and if you hit me, that's going to be bad, and that's going to be a tricky matchup. But if you've
Yeah.
got like if you're running Kazakin, um, and you're just like you just have bad matchup after bad matchup. I'm not too sure you've got enough steam. And the same with like I've had good matches with Vespids into elite players just because but not the current flavor of elite. Bear in mind, not the
Yeah.
Death Watchers. But I've had like decent matches because I always used to think Vespids were great into elites. But then that's only if you can roll a 5 or a 6. If you can't roll
Yeah.
a 5 or 6, they're suddenly not that great into elites anymore.
Yes, that was
Um,
exactly, and if you can't, and you don't have too many ways to manipulate the dice to guarantee those fives and sixes, and
yeah, I was going to say I think I've started realizing that you just need to suck it up because I think I was a big proponent of don't take the accurate, get a chance at reroll so you get dev wounds. I think I've changed a little bit now to be like, you know
ooh,
what? So many times I've rolled 4 dice and got 1 hit, even with the reroll. And I'm just sort of
yeah,
like, if that was 2 hits in this scenario, it still would have done 0 damage because they say both. But if it was 3 hits, then damage is definitely going through, and it doesn't matter
yeah,
too much, and you don't get the devastating wounds. But so I think I've changed my my tune a little bit, and I think I'm going to start accurating a little bit more with Vespids, just because their main weakness is they're a shooting team that hits on 4s, and they did try and give us a way around it with the accurate one. Um, so I was like, I need to play to that. And
yeah.
finding a team to play to that's not, I think there is scenarios where you should lose a game, not should lose a game, but thematically that should be a tougher game.
Tougher matchups,
Um,
exactly. Not saying
yeah,
we're not saying we want teams to go. You played this team, it's an auto lose, but I think
yeah,
that
that's it. That's what you want to avoid, isn't it?
it's just definitely that that balance between, and again, currently Canoptic's just the face of it. I'm talking this is a general thing for rules, really. I said they're just the example right now. We know that in a good way, we know that there'll be swings and roundabouts. The game will
Yeah,
change. There'll be the balance started to slay. This is not to say that is Kill Team dead? Is the game ruined? No, it's not.
that's the title. We're back on that. I think our
We're
first
back.
wasn't our first ever episode. Kill Team's Gone Dark.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
don't even know what would be. That was the previous edition, though.
Yeah, well, that was when ITD came out, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Man alive.
But yeah. So it's not to say Canoptics just for me is a good example now though of that rules writing. It's like maybe not being aware sometimes of the knock-on effects. It's like we give this team
Mm,
good healing. Well, that's a good defensive strat straight away. The guys got into close
yeah.
combat, but they didn't kill me. I can heal, and obviously that was one of the things that make horror tech so powerful is that you kill them, they get back up. And we know we've seen them struggle at times with finding the right balance between bringing them back at the
It
right
is
amount of
hard.
wounds and not making it
Yeah.
oppressive. But
Yeah.
then even with them, you see all of a sudden for them, they go, well, they can come back to life if you kill them in close combat. Then they also get things like equipment with like the Tesla Weave, which means that if you charge me, I can do D3 damage. And for maybe a Space
Yeah.
Marine, that doesn't matter too much. But for a lot of other teams, that's pretty damaging.
If that was your
And
surprise punch as the blooded, for example, and all
that's
of a
it.
sudden you're
Yeah.
down to 1 hit kill territory, you're like, oof.
And then you
I'm
give that
suddenly I've
same,
gone from doing 2 damage to 1 damage, and now I'm dead.
yeah. And then also on that same model, then also can potentially have accurate too. So a model that's not meant to be good at fighting in close combat can now potentially, let's be honest, you'll double parry. It's
Yeah.
like,
But then
well, where's the benefit for the the close combat team? It's like that they're those interactions sometimes, and I think going forward as we're adding because we're adding even more elite teams in, we're seeing now we know
Mm.
we've got
It does seem to be
Space
elite.
Wolves, we've got the Tau Pathfinder. Sorry, there's the stealth suits, and even in the next box, we know there's the Night Lords because
Yeah.
it's been leaked, and
It's been
I mean,
leaked.
and the sisters
The sisters team looks
they could be
somewhat elite.
interesting. And they look elite-ish. I'd say
Yeah,
mid.
elite.
I'd
They're
say mid.
yeah, elite adjacent. I do look good.
Yeah.
I do remember the original question, which is what did I think of the new teams? Apologies for wherever we went.
We've only gone off track for 30 minutes. It's fine.
I was gonna say it's fine. But yeah, so Tau, they look great. I love the stealth suits. I always wanted to see the stealth suits back, and I'm glad if they can be 3 APL, perfect. Some punchy shooting, but thematically bad in combat. I'm happy that they get rinsed in combat.
Yeah.
And I assume they'll have like a one turn, like a once per battle round shoot into combat, like because that's very
Yeah.
Tau that they're like I'll shoot into combat, and I would even be okay with them doing what the Jaegers had, where if you've got a designated shooter, someone charges into someone, he can shoot into them Overwatch
Yes.
style.
It'll
So
be
I
definitely
think
called
they'll
like
have
for
stuff.
the greater good or something.
Yeah. Oh God, it'll have a worthy cause in there again.
Yeah.
Oh God, I hope not. I hope not. That was rough. And then the Space Wolves team with genuine
Mm.
wolf. Although, as they always say, there are no wolves on Fenris,
Yes.
just fallen brothers.
Just
But
toothy, hairy Viking men
yeah. You know what? I do.
with
Have they
suits.
gone too far, Wolfie? I think I
actually,
think I preferred it when they were a lot more Viking-y, and now they're very space wolf, space werewolf.
yeah, I don't mind. Do you mean this particular iteration, the scouts themselves,
Oh no, I mean like
Space Wolves in general?
I'm talking like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Like
no,
when they like
I think they've reeled it back in quite a bit. I think
you
after
think
they brought
okay.
out them riding wolves and the Wolfen, they kind of went. I think there's a reason they didn't redo the Wolf Cavalry kit. I think there's a reason they didn't redo it. I think
Really?
I reckon next edition. I was surprised they survived this one. I reckon next
Yeah.
edition they might quietly go to the Great Wolf in the sky. Because I
I
do
do
think
think yeah.
they're trying to reel it back in a little bit. They're like, even by our standards, we've furried this up a bit. Like we've
Yeah,
gone
it
too
was
far.
space wolves riding space wolves. Yeah, that was a bit
Firing
much.
Space Wolf guns, and we have a
Yeah.
Father Christmas sled, and like again,
Yeah,
there's a reason
everything
that's gone.
drawn by wolves, and then I think it went downhill with Curse of the Wolfen
Yeah.
when that came out, and then it was like, you know what, there's feral, and I don't mind. Like, I think I would have liked it more if it was more like the Berserkers, like Corn Berserkers, where
Yes.
it's just like some. But then I guess they gotta have their own flavor. But like something where it is just like I mean, because even the Blood Angels with the Black Rage, they've lost themselves to the Black Rage, but they are still Space Marines. They just
Yes.
paint the armor black because they're on a death wish, like
Yeah.
that. Like there's it, and obviously they're thrown in the like seeing the death of Sanguinius. They think they him in the last battle. Like
Yeah.
it's all very cool, but they are still Space Wolves. Whereas this was very much, oh no, they're best. They are full on Team Jacob. They are like you couldn't get. They are the space werewolves now. There's no Viking here. So
Yeah.
yeah,
There you go. Like Daniel Higgins just said in the chat, like he was talking about the space sharks. Okay, is it the Caradons? But he's like,
Carcharodons, yeah.
they're the space sharks are not uber sharky, but there's hints of it. Like that's what I
Yeah.
like too. It's like you get it. They strike from the void, the dark. They've got the black eyes. They've like and their armor and stuff, but it's not. They're not literally. It's not a shark in power armor, which is fantastic. At
Yeah.
no point is anyone riding a shark.
Yeah, there's no fit. Yeah, you know what I liked? I liked it when it was when the like almost the extent of the Space Wolves wolfiness was them just saying like when there'd be howls and they'd be
Yeah.
like, you know, there are no wolves on
Oh,
Fenris,
that was so cool in that.
and then everyone was like, what the hell does that even mean? What does it
What
mean?
was
And
what
then
was the first Horus
they came
Heresy
out
book
right.
that kind of introduced all of that? Which one was it?
Thousand Suns maybe.
Yeah, there was one. I remember reading that one, and it was, I guess, focused on whatever the Horus Heresy book it was, and it was focused for
Yeah.
like the first one that focused on the Space Wars. And it was so cool. And it talked about like they'd crafted those weird
The
little leather
flesh
masks.
masks. Yes.
Yes. And I was
The
like,
Fenrica.
the
No, what do they call
Fenrica, yes. And it
themselves?
was
The
like,
Fenrica, yeah.
oh, and all the wolf stuff was there, but it was like, as you said, it was in the background. It was behind the,
Yeah.
the curtain. It was a hint. But it was, they were
It was
still
more
really
longboats
cool.
and Vikings and like, yeah,
Yes.
like that vibe and berserkers and then like the weird magic being like an earth magic thing.
Yes, that's it.
Um,
Yeah, it's a bit more like,
yeah.
yeah, like paganism kind of vibe and feel,
I
lots of
like that.
ritual. That was very, very
Axes with
cool.
runes on a broadsword chain swords. That was my, yeah. I prefer that more than the wolfy wolf stuff. Um, which is why I think Blood Angels, because it's the best of both. They are
Yeah.
technically space vampires,
Yeah.
but it's still very much, apart from a couple of characters that are beyond the pale. Like you can't get around Mephiston. He is
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
vampire.
He is
He's just
literally
a
Space
vampire.
Dracula.
Yeah, it's basically space. Yeah, full out from the pages of Castlevania, isn't he? He's just, but you don't have to get him if you don't want to. And they've got some
Exactly.
cool and they're all like death masks and stuff like that. So yeah, but the team itself aesthetically
Yeah.
looks pretty good. Like I
Yeah.
like the fact that we've got. It almost looks like I'm going to say this is going to be horrendously uh, bad take, but it reminds me of an elven team. It reminds me of the
Oh,
Corsairs. Like
with
I get
the
that Corsairs vibe. You've got you've got some magic in there. You got like a lot of pistols, which yes, I wouldn't be surprised to see a free dash, but I know it's Phobos, so it's probably not. It'll probably just be their super fast 7 inches, and then the wolf's gonna be 8.
yeah.
Because we've seen a few operatives that are like the drone flies around at 8, so I'd imagine it'd be very fast. Um, but yeah, like it looks good. Like I like a solid team, and then I'm actually a little bit more hopeful for this team in terms of I think it'll be so Death Watch. It's
Mhm.
straight up and down in it. Like
Yeah.
I don't think there's no finesse, is what I'm saying. I guess the Death Watch is Death Watch. You've got a dude who saves on twos. You
Yeah.
don't need to say any more. Like that's insane. That shouldn't be happening, but it does. So it's straight up and down chonks.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the Space Wolf team is going to be a lot more. Um, I don't know. I think you can make some interesting conversions. Like hobby wise, it kind of ticks both boxes
Yes,
for
there's
me because there's interesting characters that you can be like, oh, and the thing is, if you're a Space Wolf fan, there's loads of Space Wolf characters. Like they one of the most
yes.
characterful legions that you could just be like, throw in a couple of characters to take those big roles. Um, but yeah, they're just a fun looking team with a bunch of different types of operatives. So I'm pretty keen on them. I think oddly, I'm normally not the person who gets excited by the Imperium team in a
Yeah.
box set. Like I preferred the Canoptic to Death Watch, even though I love Death Watch, but I feel like there's a danger that they go too safe, and they're just like shooting twice, hits on threes. That's literally, if you think about it, that's probably all you need to win quite a lot of games. Just have a
Yeah.
3-4 bolter that hits on threes and you can shoot it twice. Like that's real good.
They're a
It's
good
still,
mid to low table bully, like they're just a stat check
yeah,
against a lot of teams, and
exactly.
if you don't know how to deal with them or you let them get a bit of momentum, they'll run away. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Whereas I'm hopeful that the Wolves Scouts team will be a little bit more because thematically they're the elites, they're the veterans. So I'm kind of intrigued to see like Long Fang kind of tactics, like where they're sneakier because
Yes.
they're not in their prime, as it were, in terms of they're not just
Space
coming
Prime.
up. That's what I mean. Yeah, I was gonna say I think like they'll be a little bit more like, well, we have to rely on tactics now, but we've got them for days because we're the ones that have been running missions for the longest. This is where they retire Space Marines that are too tough to
Yeah.
die. So I'm kind of for the Space Wars at the very least. I'm keen to see how I really want them to play like a team of crafty veterans. I
Yeah.
know that's such a hard thing to give a like that's a hard thing to give. Like a team that Space Marines is still going to be moving fast and shooting twice, but I'd love some tac ops that make them feel crafty, some sly ways to play the mission
Yes.
maybe that feels a little bit like, yeah, I'd like
I think
that.
they're
Some
gonna have
almost
to
similar
a
to
little bit.
Scouts.
I think they're gonna have to a little bit though too, because again, judging by like some of the promo pics, it kind of does look like it's a 5-man and a dog team, you know? So it's like,
Yeah, I think so too. I
and if
think
they're
5 man and a dog.
Phobos slash scout armor, they're not going to have the Death Watch resiliency per
No,
se, or you
definitely
wouldn't
not.
believe so. I tell you what, you just inspired me a little bit there, though, when you were talking about like how to like present them in different ways, and what we were talking about in the chat. Imagine using converting them as like Carcharodons. So like
Ah,
using the
yeah, that'd be
wolf, the
good.
fangs more like shark teeth kind of
Yeah,
vibe, albino black eye models. Like that
that'd be
could look
good.
really cool as well. Oh, damn,
I
look at
mean,
that
just a
kind of
team of veterans. Like that's the thing. Like a
yeah.
team of Space Marine veterans is a very cool. Like veterans of the
Left
Long War
behind
is almost
enemy
what I want to do.
lines for
It.
too long. They've seen too
Yeah, trapped
much.
in the warp, the red
Yeah,
tide. You know what do they call it? The red wake. Though that's a very specific Terminator from the Carcharodon's
still
name.
very cool
That
though. What a
their
name.
main guy. Yeah, the red wake. But yeah, that would be cool. I do like
Um,
them. I do. Yeah, I think they're going to be a good team, and I think I'm excited to use them. They're going to be a team that I think I might actually try and
yeah, get
put
get
some
get
time in
good at.
with. Yeah,
Um,
get good scrub.
that's another actually not a sorry, excuse me, not another bad option too for a potential kit bash. Drone sort of said for a Sly power armored team, you'll need to wait for Alpha Legion kill team, but that these guys could also be an Alpha Legion team too. I don't know what their dog would be though. What a small Hydra. I don't know what their animal would be.
Yeah, it's interesting because you got the classic. You go Flesh Hound if you go Berserkers,
Berserkers,
Corn.
yeah.
You've got a Seeker or a if you go Slanesh, haven't you? Or you can make some weird sort of like I don't know something weird for them, some sort
Something
of
with a
flesh
tongue
model,
or lots of them.
something with a tongue. Yeah, a Beast and Nurgle, I guess, depending on how big they are, or like a like a bunch of Nurglings for a
Nurglings
Death
in the
Watch.
shape of a beast of Nurgle.
Yeah, like all running on each other's shoulders. And then that leaves you with like either a Chaos Undivided or yeah, a Chaos Undivided. I'm not sure what that would be. I guess some sort of the Juggernauts that you used to get, but they're probably too big. Those kind of like
Yeah,
metal, kind of like
yeah,
rhinos. It's probably quite big.
it's this
Um,
giant metal juggernaut. Like it's got 4 wounds.
yeah. It's honestly mainly about speed. Doesn't look like it, but yes, it is. Can't operate a door. Be weird to see him trying. Yeah, I don't know what it would be, but you could always just try and
Daniel Higgins in the
chaos
chat.
up.
One of the new Sephiron Raptors as the doggo for Space Sharks. That could be cool. Yeah, like a little lizard or dinosaur type creature could be a good little get for
Oh,
Alpha Legion, like an
oh,
exotic.
Seraphon, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
about a
Sorry, for
Lumineth?
AOS. Yeah,
What about an actual shark? Don't the Lumineth Realm Kill have
yeah.
like
No, but
actual
we said we're not
sharks?
doing that. We're not doing full shark. We're not going full
If the
shark, Russ.
Space Wolves have got wolves, we can have a shark and be like, here it is, it's happening,
I
baby. You know
refuse.
what it reminds me of? Reminds me of Johnny Mnemonic. You know how
Yeah,
the low tech have that dolphin
yeah.
like that? It's literally that. It's just like but put like a computer and like a
On its
bionic
head
eye on the shark. That's what it needs.
with
Johnny
freaking
Mnemonic style.
laser beams on its head.
Yeah, that's what they need. What would
Here we
the
go.
Raptors have? Oh no, go for it.
Sorry, go.
Oh, I was gonna say if you went the Vulcan crew, if you went the Salamanders, you could try and get like I'm sure there's like lizard army. You could get like a Croxador or some sort of tiny like. You used to be able to get a lizard with a sail on its back. I can't remember what they're called now.
Yes. Oh,
But you used to be
yeah.
able to get. I had one like a metal one, but I don't think you can get them anymore. There must be. You're looking.
No. I got
As I
distracted.
say, you're not be able to find it. Like a
You're
Stegosaurus or
not meant to
whatever it
call me
was.
out live on air, Russ, okay? Oh, there you go. Drone said, I know, Orktober. All Orc team and a squig for a doggo. That's the...
Yeah, I mean
Orcs
that's
can be
solid.
any team. That is the... Orcs are the best kit bash
The beauty
base
of
ever.
them. Yeah, 100%. There's no
I
team
like...
that the Orcs cannot do.
There is a question from the chat here, Russ, for you, from Big Dilly79. Sorry for everyone I'm a little bit blocked up today, so apologies if I'm a bit snuffly. If you could have another Marine chapter specific kill team, what would you want and what would their theme be? For themselves, they said they'd want a Dark Angels team themed around the old Paladin orders, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Part of me is tempted to say Blood Angels, and then Death Company, not Death Company. Um, oh, Smeg, I'm drawing a blank. What's their Someone in the chat help me out. What is their thingy? It's not the.
The
It's
Death
not Death
Company,
Company.
the
Is
the the
that them?
Berserker guys. That's the Death Company. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The
Who
guys
are the
of
guys with fire all over them? Legion of the Damned.
Legion of the Damned. Yes.
Yeah. So I was there. I woke. Yeah. So Death Company is what I was thinking, because you can have Death Company, because then that's literally the same thing here. You choose, because I do feel like, I know Wolfen technically are Space Wolves things, but
Yeah.
I come from an order of Viking Wolfen, not Viking Wolfen, Viking Space Wolves pre-Vulcan, like we talked about, when it's Vilka Fenrika, and it was the scouts was their big thing. The fact that their scouts were their veterans was like Space Wolves' big thing in a
Yes.
way. So I do like that, and I do feel like either um, like if they did were to do Blood Angels, I'd either want like a super elite Sanguinary Guard team,
Oh,
like
okay. Yeah.
5 or 4 models Sanguinary Guard, um, heavy combat with the like bolters on their
Yeah, the
fists, kind of like
Angelus
Grey Knights used
pattern.
to be. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then one with a melter, or like the Death Company, and just like, and like, you know what I'd love? The Death Company is like throes of death. Like the more injured they are, the better they are. Like I feel
Yes.
like you should be able to just be like, okay, if they get to the first thing that kills them, you can ignore it. Or like whatever it is, like they're just like they keep fighting. Although having just said Death Company and then saying Legion of the Damned, I would like the Legion of the Damned. Like,
Yeah, I actually think you hit the nail on the head. I think
yeah,
Legion of the
Legion of the
Damned.
Damned.
Oh, like there's
Is
such
it
a
even a
cool.
legion though? Is it even real? Who knows? That's the thing.
I love that that was meant to be that thing for ages. It was like no one knows who they are. They're a mystery. And then there was that one codex that came out, and it was like there was just like a quote, and it was like a mad psycho like going, "Behold, I've seen it in the warp. It's the Firehawks." And it was like, oh, you just ruined. You just ruined it. And then just, after that, Gina was like, no, 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 like that. It could be them, but
Retcon that.
maybe it's not.
We don't like that. We took away the mystery, and now we're like, we regret that. But yeah,
um,
mainly just for the how cool the models would be.
yes, exactly. There's been a few good ones in the chat here, which we could go back, have a look. Obviously, I think Alpha Legion is screaming out for something.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
hard one to do though.
Drone has recommended, I don't know if we'll get this one, 5-man Terminator squad for Blood Angels. The other half of the box, Gene Stealers. Space Hulk, I don't. The
Just Space
longer
Hulk,
it
yeah.
goes, I just don't think we're getting that. I don't think. I don't think we're going to get
Terminators, yeah.
Terminators. I just don't think. I think they'll re-release Space Hulk at some stage. It just won't be
Yeah.
Kill Team. I think they'll just they'll redo that box. I reckon.
I think everyone's still thinking of those days when we got elites in the first ever kill team, and they gave
Yeah,
us the elites and then the commander book. I
yeah.
don't think we'll see elites, which is
I'm not
fine.
meaning to
Which
dash
is
your hopes,
fine.
Drone. I would love it. Don't get me wrong.
Personally, yeah, love it, but I don't see it. I think we'll have to make our own.
Yeah. White Scars Phobos hunting team, but then they said, "Oh wait, that's dead. That's already dead silence." That's true, but White Scars could be
Yeah, actually,
another
that's a
cool
good
kit
one.
bash, like for the
That's
dead
hard to
silence.
do, though, isn't it? Though.
Yeah.
You know what? You know
Um,
what I'd love about. I know we talked about it, but I'm sure we've mentioned it many times before. But I think what I'd want to see more about, more than anything, is Astartes interacting with Imperium.
yeah.
And I think there's no way better to do that than with Alpha Legion. So you
Yeah.
have almost like the what you call it, the Chaos Cult, where you've got 3 Space Marines and then a series of agents, kind of
Oh
like
yeah.
Inquisitorial agents, but they're
Yeah.
like evil. But then the bulk of it is you do have 3 Space Marines, or up to 3 Space Marines you can run,
Yeah.
and then you have a bunch of chaff almost units that you can use to play the mission, and you go pseudo elite, and you have 8 operatives.
Yeah.
Because that's a team that's going to be hard to deal with maybe up to 3 operatives that are good Space Marines, and you have
Yeah.
one
Like three
combat,
APL
one
beasts.
shooty. Yeah, exactly. A decent combat unit, one shoot. Although, you know what, I'd love them to really lay into the fact that they are good at killing Astartes, and are um, the only one that their legion that was practicing killing Astartes for like 10,000 years prior to 40k. Like in the Horus Heresy, they were the only ones
Yeah,
that were
yeah.
like, you might have to kill an Astarizer someday, better practice. So I'd love them to
Here's
be like,
10,000 years.
if, yeah, just 10,000 years extra practice for anyone that's still alive. But I think that should be stuff like, they'll name it something cool like legacy of violence or non-codex compliance. And then
Oh,
if you're fighting another opponent with the Astartes keyword,
yeah.
you get like +1 attack.
Oh,
And
that's
that's just like
sick.
a little bit like, so like it makes like a normal warrior that's got a gun and like a combat blade 4 attacks all of a sudden into an Astartes or elite, he becomes like an 11 like 5 attacks, stuff like that. That's like cinematic. And then you've got the other operatives that basically are your meat and potatoes. They're just the chaff that are going to get
Yeah.
you objectives and give them like some interesting stuff, like maybe a psyker's in there. I don't know, but that's what I
It's
would love. I'd love that kind of team.
I've been rereading the Gaunt's Ghost series, and I just
Oh, I've
read
never read them.
and in one of the
Are they
books
good?
that yes, amazing. It's a really really good series. Yeah.
Nice.
Uh,
I need to
Um,
read a bit more. Read a bit
but
more lore. We'll bring back
in
Ben's book club.
yes, he's been lazy on that. I mean, I don't think to be honest at this point, I don't think he can read. But that's
I do,
beside the point.
I've got serious questions about that man's literacy.
The in one of them, and I'll try not to do any spoilers, but in one of the particular missions, quite far into the series, they do go on like a mission, and they're like that because obviously it's about guardsmen, but they're joined by 3 space marines, one from the Iron Snakes, one from the White
Oh,
Scars,
nice.
and one is I think a Silver Sentinel or Silver Guard.
Mm,
Um, and it reminded me so much of exactly what you sort of said. Is it's like
yeah,
they kind of go on the mission with the guard, but they're nearly like their own demolition. Like it's just the guard trying to keep up with
like a
these. Like
separate. Yeah, I was gonna say just following in their wake.
yes, that's it. And it felt so like, and it was great because the way they're written, like they feel like how you would imagine Space Marines, as opposed to being like,
Mm,
there's hundreds of them and they're all working together. And like because they were all from different chapters and the way that they talked about them and like the reverence, it made them feel like it was so unusual for the Space Marines to be there. Like, oh,
yeah,
it's a very cool moment, that's for sure. Um,
nice.
I would love to see you inspire me a little bit. Another cool team to do would be maybe like a thing of like Black Shields. So like
Oh,
disgraced
right.
Marines who are
Yeah,
like left their
they've get rid of
chapters
their chapters. Yeah,
and they're like, and because of that though, like their gear and their techs maybe not quite as good. So they've got quite different rules because
all
they're
their weapons have hot stuff like
and
that.
that's it. Yeah, and then maybe their armor save's not quite as good, but they're tougher, or maybe there's they could, but maybe you can choose to they're still Imperium loyalists or Chaos loyalists, and depending, they get different benefits. So as opposed to being like a Chaos god, there's still maybe throne worshippers or Chaos. So
Yeah,
there's different skill trees. Could be pretty cool.
I know. Well, we need. You know what I want? I want legionaries again, and I know legionaries are currently here, but they will be going soon. And it
Yes.
gets me thinking about these new Night Lord teams that are coming out, the
Oh,
Raptors.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
just sort of like, are they going to be the new? Are they new legionaries? Are they going to be so good? Because I remember legionary was the team that just sold me. Um,
yeah. Well, you and
I think
Ben
for
were
so
both
long.
had about 19 versions of the Legionary
Yeah,
teams. You had about 14
still
kit
got them.
rushes each.
Definitely the most amount of hours I put into them. And I feel bad because I dropped them as soon as they became too good. They were like,
Yeah.
I was just like, if I did one tournament, and then I was just sort of like, they're so good. Like I can't imagine this is fun. I think I remember having a game with one of the guys from Knots, a lovely
Yeah.
dude, and we were playing it, and I was sort of like, as I was running stuff, I was like, this isn't fun, is it? Like I feel like he was Angel of the Death, and I was just sort of like, yeah, it's -1 to hit everyone on my team at all times, pretty much. It's
Yeah.
just rough. It's just not fun.
It's but
Power
now then
creep.
you went on like a penitent crusade and just played Vespid for the last 6
I
months.
feel like that was it. That was like, okay, that spurred me to be like, okay, now it's going to be Vespids. I've earned, yeah.
Self
I need to
flat,
repent.
whipping yourself
Yeah,
on the back. Self mortification.
that's what it is.
I also
Yeah,
too one more I'd love to see out there. Just a Salamander Space Marine team, but everything's fire. Every weapon's basically like just like lots of the Pyre Blaster guys,
yeah.
melter weapons, like everything is built to burn, and they just
Do you know,
man, that would be. So cool. Like a clearance
That
team,
would be
perfect for
cool.
ITD, like a Salamanders
Oh yeah,
Space Hulk clearance team. Like that would be sick.
sweet and clear.
Yeah.
Do you know what I miss randomly? And it's because you mentioned Salamander, because I used to run them with Salamanders, and the first edition of Kill Team was Las Cannons.
Oh,
I have not seen a
no, what?
las cannon in years. There's no las cannons in Kill Team anymore, and I know they are like they're meant to punch through the holes of like dreadnoughts and stuff. So
Yeah, yeah.
realistically, you don't need a las cannon.
Not a
Like
stealth
the
weapon. Is
biggest
that what
thing,
you're saying?
yeah, the biggest thing you can. I just imagine that they give it to us, but it's on a guard team, and it's like a crew having to fire it. But
They painted it black
there's
though
no
for
need.
camouflage.
Yeah. Yeah, they can't move it. It just sets up, and it's like
Yeah.
that's where it's at. But yeah, I kind of miss it because I used to have two with salamanders because they got that artificer reroll or whatever it was. They could reroll
Yeah.
one, and it was only one dice to hit. Maybe bring it back, but just still make it one dice to hit
I don't mind that.
on a 3, but it basically deletes it on a 4, 50-50,
Casino
boom,
cannon.
through. Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
James B
missing.
said, interesting note too, the next Chaos Space Marine team, to be honest, is also not Night Lord specific. It is going to be generic Raptors or Warp Talons or whatever. So they just happened to have
good.
painted them as Night Lord. So that's very true.
I was
So
going to say, yeah.
hopefully,
yeah.
I said, I think you'll find them. I think they'll take a lot of the things they liked from the Legionary team and just putting it in a new package, if you will. So that would be very,
I
very
think
cool.
Legionaries felt like almost the poster boys of Kill Team for a time.
Yeah.
And not just because they were good, a lot of people were like, you'd never go to a tournament without seeing at least two
Yeah.
of them. And I guess
100%.
the same could be said for Angels of Death, but like they were the two pillars of
Yeah.
Kill Team. So I'm hopeful once they're gone that they're going to give us a good replacement, and that's going to be the Raptors. It's going to be like a super elite team, and they're going to be the models are great already.
I know. Well, that already kind of looks like it's going to be like another 5-man kind of team, doesn't it? Because you've got the
Yeah.
Lord in there too, so it's like where you're getting like, yeah, like I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be. I reckon that'll be 5 as well.
Yeah, I think especially if they follow Warp Talon rules,
Yeah,
like where they can just cut through like the warp, just and then just
probably have the
climb
breach
through and
keyword,
appear.
so cutting through 2
Yeah.
more terrain and through all the breach walls as well. I don't know.
It's going to be like mandrakes again. They're just
Yeah.
going to pop up behind enemy lines. Interesting.
Interesting one from Big Dilly in the chat as well, saying that Legionaries had interesting rules. Angels of Death, not so much. I would agree with that. Legionaries always felt a lot more thematic. Angels of Death, in a lot of ways, some things were comparable, but for some reason, Legionaries always felt so much cooler.
They
And
were.
their rules
It's
felt-
because evil.
Yeah, maybe it's evil.
Evil's always cooler. Horus is so much more exciting than Rowboat.
Oh
Do you know
god,
what I mean?
poor man. All right. Well, look, we've covered a lot more ground than I was expecting us to. We got considering that the question started with Russ, what do you think of the Dead Silence box sets? We covered
We've been around.
absolute mess ton of ground. There was
Yeah.
good takes, there was bad takes, there was a lot of takes.
There was
But we had fun with you
only
all.
good takes. Only good takes. Solid takes. And I still maintain you can go on guard. No, we've clarified that. Can't be done.
we
feel like
fixed
that's
the rule. We
definitive.
fixed the rule.
We fixed it.
Not fixed it.
Can't
We worked
be
it
done.
out.
Yeah,
Oh,
we were advised.
one more shout out for a cool team. Didymus in the chat. Word bearers kill team with Marines and cultists. Yes.
I mean, that's my
Yes.
dream team. That is my dream
Oh.
team. That. Yeah, that's the dream. The team that I just discussed.
That's
Flip it around, and
Yeah.
3 guys, but one of them's a like an apostle type
dark
character.
apostle.
The
Yeah.
chance, but he's also he's basically Erebus. I just basically want
Yeah, yeah,
Erebus and friends. That's what I
Yeah.
want. And before you say Erebus has no friends, you're right. He has
Yeah,
no
correct.
friends.
So you don't need to say it. Save
Yeah.
it.
So
We
don't say
know.
it. Don't say it.
We agree.
He
We
doesn't
concur.
Erebus.
See, that could be a cool team too, because you can have cultists, but then I'd also want to have like a few right down to like Yellowpox Gribblies as well, like some little sensor bearers or something, like
Yeah.
some little
You just want the classic dude just holding a scripture.
yes,
and
yeah.
just
What does he
whipping
do?
it's flagellants.
Yeah,
That's what we want. We
yes.
want the flagellants again from what you call it, Empire, Age of Warhammer Fantasy style. That's what
Yes.
we want.
That would be so good. Oh, Diddy must have said, who needs friends when you can have cultists? Exactly.
And the chaos and the triumvirate of chaos gods. Although it's not a triumvirate, isn't it?
Oh, geez,
Because
I love it.
there's now all of them. Four.
All right. Well, I reckon that's it. A huge thank you to the chat. Thank you so. It's been very busy in the chat today, and we've loved that's why we love doing these live, because we love hearing everyone join in and getting to share thoughts. Because hey, me and Russ don't always have good thoughts. Some of them are downright
Whoa.
scary. So
Hey now.
So having the
We
chat
have the best thoughts.
to fill in the spectrum of thoughts is fantastic. So thank you so much for everyone there. If you're listening on the podcast, thank you for your ear holes. We really, really do appreciate you. Thank you, as always, to the wonderful Russ from GFN Gaming.
Appreciate it, Reese. And thanks very much for Reese for 3s to wound, baby.
07's in the chat. I hope to see some of you up there in Sydney at the KTSO.
Yeah.
Thank you to someone wished me luck, and I really appreciated it. Where was it? Billy Birdie said good luck to me up there. Yes, good
Billy
luck
Birdie.
to us. We're going to need it. I'm probably
Good
just going to
luck
get smashed.
Take Death Watch. You're gonna storm it.
Top
believe it.
mid-tier, top mid-table.
Yeah.
07's in the chat to everyone. And a